それでは早速お呼びいたしましょう。タッチ主演マーティン・ボーム役キーファー・サザーランドさんです。
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment. Thank you so much for coming out today. This is my third time to Japan. The first time I've been back for almost 2 years. And I cannot tell you what a joy it is every time for me to come here. You have such a beautiful city here in Tokyo, and your hospitality has always been so gracious. So thank you very much for coming out, and we'll have a chat. Well, it hasn't really started. I got off a plane yesterday. I went to the hotel, had a very quiet dinner, and went to sleep. So this is the beginning of my trip. Every time I've stayed in Tokyo, I've stayed at a different hotel, and so that's the way I've learned to see the city. And so this is the first time I've been in the area, Ginza. Yeah, and Ginza, and so I look forward after today to being able to walk around. I saw from my hotel the Emperor's Palace and that park, so I think that's the first thing I'll look at today. I think first off, I didn't expect to come back and do television as quickly after 24. I had done a couple films. I had done a play on Broadway in New York when I was sent the script. And it was just one of those things that moved me. It was a very delicate and beautiful relationship of a single father trying to desperately connect with his son who has been diagnosed with severe autism. And it was just something that I had an emotional reaction to. And I knew that I would be more disappointed if I didn't do it than if I did do it. And so the choice was actually quite simple. And I think it was the difference in the characters that made it so appealing, but oddly enough, as I started to make Touch, I realized there were so many similarities between Jack Bauer and Martin Bohm, to my surprise. You have, Jack Bauer is confronted every day with a situation that is he's not prepared for, and puts him in circumstances that he is not prepared for, and yet he will do his best to accomplish that. It is very similar with this relationship with my son. My son puts me in situations as a father that I'm not prepared for, that I don't necessarily have the facilities to take on, and yet he does it with the best of intentions and to the best of his ability. There's also a moral center to both of these people, to both of these characters. And it is a good one, and so that is very similar between the two characters. So it's been an interesting kind of journey for me. I'm in the middle of making the second season of Touch, and I'm always surprised about how similar the two men are, and yet how different the stories are. But for those reasons, and again, this dynamic between this father and his son, and the fact that it deals with stories from around the world. In the first season, there are two Japanese girls where we followed their travels around the world, and we deal with characters from Spain, from Brazil, from England, from Ireland, all throughout the series. And the series touches on this idea that there is true interconnectivity in our world now. We are not isolated, and so it's a very long answer, I'm sorry. Which I think is a really positive thing. That if I do something in the United States, the effect that that action will have will travel around the world. And I think that that's a really beautiful and important idea. And I think the more we are aware that what we do in the United States affects what happens here in Japan, and what happens here in Japan affects the United States and Europe and everywhere else. And I think that's a very important and a very positive message. And so for all of those reasons, I was very attracted to the idea of doing